to have peace and secure some partnerships that will keep our officers safe and allow us to enforce federal law.
Right now on KGW, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem lands in Portland for a surprise visit to the ICE facility near the South waterfront. Plus,
you get half a block away from the ICE headquarters or a block away, and it's just like it always is in Portland, beautiful and peaceful and friendly.
And people who live near the ICE facility say not much has changed in their day-to-day lives amid the commotion around the National Guard. Then,
I'm innocent, so let's have a trial and keep the faith.
former FBI Director James Comey back in the spotlight again, pleading not guilty to charges in a prosecution pushed for by the Trump administration. And later, Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is shattering sales records, and she's not done yet. KGW News at noon starts right now. We begin with continuing coverage of a massive industrial fire still burning in Vancouver. That fire started just before 9 last night at a metal shredding facility at the Port of Vancouver. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Corey Johnson. It's good to be with you now. We don't know exactly what started that fire yet at Pacific Coast Shredding. KGW's Thomas Schultz joins us live outside the facility. Now, Thomas, you've been at the scene for several hours now. What are you seeing currently?
Yeah, well, Corey, firefighters have been out here working on it. They've really tamped down the fire and the smoke behind us. If you're with us during the sunrise hours this morning, there was smoke billowing off of that debris where you can see cranes continuing to work. Now the smoke is pretty much gone. Fire officials say they could have the fire extinguished by early this afternoon. Fortunately, they tell us nobody was injured, though it's still unclear how this fire started to begin with. 40 firefighters from Vancouver and Clark County worked throughout the night to tamp this thing down, with smoke billowing once again off of this pile for hours. This thing started just before 9 p.m. last night. Some people told us they smelled the smoke from miles away. On the ground, cranes picked piles of metal off of the pile, so firefighters could actually just hose down that debris and get closer to the center of the flame. Currently, there's still maybe 15 firefighters left, maybe a little less at this point. And again, they've made a ton of progress. Still, a lot of the people that are still here monitoring this fire have been here all night long.
A lot of our crews are exhausted. They've been here for almost 13 hours now. And they're still working on pulling the pile apart to try to get to the source of the fire and extinguish it with the water.
Initially, fire officials say crews trying to use foam to extinguish the flames, but it just wasn't very effective. Eventually, they switched over to water, and that's something that they've been using for hours now, pouring thousands of gallons of water onto the fire. Again, it's not clear how this fire initially started, but Hudson, the spokesperson for Vancouver Fire, tells us that that's something that's not uncommon here in metal scrapyards. This is something they see a couple of times a year as fires in these areas. So something that they're definitely accustomed to. At this point, the investigation and the cause of what exactly happened here is now in the hands of the state fire marshal. Corey?
All right, Thomas, live for us there in Vancouver. Thank you. Well, turning now to weather, Chris McGinnis joins us for a look at your Wednesday forecast. Hey, Chris.
Good afternoon, Corey. Yeah, you can see in Thomas's live shot, by the way, up in Vancouver, that he was starting to break out into some sunshine there, right? As we switch gears and take into downtown Portland, we still have a very low but thin cloud deck as a weather system passes overhead, shifts the breeze to the west, and knocks our temperatures down significantly from where we've been the last couple of days. Case in point, we sit at 57 degrees. Yesterday, Portland hit 79. That kind of warmth is out of here. But I do think we'll bring back some sunshine this afternoon. Here's a look at the beach right now. Live look from the Lincoln City area. This is from the Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Cascade Head there prominently off in the distance, and a clearing sky for those folks. And as we go up on the mountain as well, up at Timberline, looking to the south, a really pretty blue sky up above there as well. So we will clear out a bit, and we will see some sunshine this afternoon. Here's a look at the satellite imagery. Again, a band of cloud cover passing overhead with a wind shift and a pattern shift into some cooler onshore flow. So that's why we've got the clouds out there this morning and through the lunch hour, but I do think they'll dissipate. It's 57 at the airport, 57 Eugene, Salem checking in with 56. It's actually warmer in Astoria. with a little bit of sunshine along the North Oregon coast at lunchtime. All right, here's the plan for the rest of the day. I do anticipate the clouds breaking up at least somewhat and high temperatures eventually climbing into the lower 60s. So again, a solid 15, 18 degrees cooler than yesterday. We are tracking rain, and Corey, we're probably looking at a number of chances of rain in the 7-day forecast. We're going to walk you through each of those coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, after a surprise visit to Portland yesterday, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says she expects the city and the state to provide more help in protecting Portland's ICE facility and its workers. Catherine Cook has more details on her meetings with local leaders, including Portland Police Chief Bob Day.
One of the things I've been dealing with all day here in Portland is a bunch of pansies that are elected into political office who won't make a decision to keep their citizens safe.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem didn't hold back Tuesday night. In an interview with Fox News, she recounted her surprise visit to Portland, where she toured the ICE facility following months of protests and clashes with immigration officers. Noem didn't offer media availability, but when she landed in Portland Tuesday morning, KGW's Kyla Boshi was waiting for her inside this private terminal.
Secretary, what do you hope to accomplish by visiting Portland today?
We hope to have peace and secure some partnerships that will keep our officers safe and allow us to enforce federal law.
Do you have any interest in speaking to Portlanders for an objective view of the situation here?
We believe the president has the right to keep every single citizen safe.
After touring the ICE facility, Secretary Noem met with local law enforcement, including Portland Police Chief Bob Day, about keeping the federal property safe.
I told them what we wanted. We wanted more security here at the building, a bigger buffer zone to keep our officers safe. We wanted to have their streets opened up again and not let the anarchists run this city anymore, that we would ask them to continue to back us up like we've been asking for instead of what they've been doing the last several months, which is just leaving our officers hang out to dry.
We did speak holistically about the need for a change in the environment and a change in behavior down there, and I'm in agreement with that.
Asked about specific changes the police bureau might make, Chief Day wouldn't disclose any, but said he's open to the possibility of bringing in more officers to patrol the area. He also said communication is the first step in resolving differences.
And we continue to strive for a shared value of safety. The Secretary obviously and understandably is very concerned for the safety of her employees, her officers, as well as the building itself.
Noem also met with Portland Mayor Keith Wilson.
Just met with the mayor, and I'm so extremely disappointed. He's continuing to play politics, did not commit to any of those promises, and said that he'd give me an answer by tomorrow. And I'm hopeful that he will.
We requested an interview with Mayor Wilson. His office opted to share a statement. It said in part, what Secretary Noem saw today in Portland matches our reports. Portland continues to manage public safety professionally and responsibly, irrespective of the claims of out-of-state social media influencers. I continue to maintain that the tactics used by federal agents at the ICE facility are troubling and likely unconstitutional. I will continue to demand that federal officers operating in our city adhere to the same high standards we require of the Portland Police Bureau. Noem said she left Mayor Wilson with a warning.
What I told him is that if he did not follow through on some of these security measures for our officers, we were going to cover him up with more federal resources and that we were going to send 4 times the amount of federal officers here.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Now, Secretary Noem also met with Oregon Governor Tina Kotek for roughly 20 minutes. Governor Kotek says they talked about the situation at the ICE facility and that she reiterated to the secretary that it's contained to a block around the building. Here's how she summed it up.
I think it was professional and cordial. I mean, she's a former governor, so she knows what my job is. We're trying to talk to each other as people who have to make decisions and keep people safe, and I thought it was a good conversation.
Now, Governor Kotek also expressed concerns about the use of tear gas by federal agents protecting the building, which has impacted people who live nearby. And make sure to stay with KGW for the latest updates surrounding Portland's ICE facility and the National Guard. Look for the latest right here on air, online at KGW.com, and on our free TV app, KGW Plus. Well, here's a look at some national headlines this afternoon. Hundreds of Texas National Guard members are now on the ground in Illinois preparing for deployment to Chicago. Video shows troops carrying rifles at an Army Reserve Center about an hour outside the Windy City. The governor of Illinois says he wasn't given a heads up about this. Now, a federal judge is set to hear that state's effort to temporarily stop the deployment tomorrow. Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty today to federal charges of lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. Now, the case comes amid political controversy after President Donald Trump publicly urged charges against him. Now, Comey posted a video online defending himself, saying he believes there are costs to standing up to the president. His trial is set for January 5th. And a 29-year-old man has been arrested in Florida accused of starting the deadly Palisades fire earlier this year in California. Investigators say Jonathan Rinderknecht set off a small New Year's Day blaze that smoldered for days before reigniting in strong winds, sparking the massive January 7th fire that killed 12 people and destroyed thousands of structures. And he's charged with maliciously starting the fire and faces federal prosecution. And those are your national headlines. Well, closing arguments for the trial of a cannabis store employee accused of killing two suspected robbers are expected to begin today. This stems from a shooting last year at a LaMotta cannabis store in North Portland. Court documents say three men came and pointed guns at 34-year-old Jason Steiner. Steiner allegedly walked outside, returned to the drive-up window, and fired inside, killing two of the men. Steiner has pleaded not guilty.